11 Most toxic places on Earth. Number 11. Lake Okeechobee, Florida. While Florida is a beautiful place to visit and it attracts many tourists all around the world, its largest lake has become heavily polluted in recent years. This resulted in the spewing of highly toxic man-made algae that has the consistency of guacamole. However, you will not be putting this onto your burrito anytime soon. It's already suffocated many fish, clams, and other wildlife after it began infesting the Florida's Treasure Coast. This led to them closing down beaches. If you made contact with it, it has the potential to shut down your liver. Many point the finger at increased fertilizer in agriculture, phosphorus pollution, and manure from livestock, which drain into Lake Okeechobee. This toxic algae is taking over Florida and has cost billions of dollars to taxpayers. Number 10. Azari Bog Bangladesh. You might complain about your job from time to time, but at least you're not working at a factory in Azari Bog, Bangladesh. This city has over 185,000 people near the capital of Bangladesh, which is one of the poorest countries on earth. Most people here make an average of $2 a day. It's here where they process animal skins, which they turn into leather, and requires a large amount of chemicals. Here in this photo, you see hands of a factory worker who doesn't have access to gloves or any protective gear. It clearly has affected his skin. The city's waterways are dumped with an estimated 22,000 liters of cubic waste each day, and some risk their bodies by jumping into salvaged plastic waste, which can be sold and recycled. This includes the dumping of hexavalent chromium, which is known to cause cancer. Number 9. Dugway Proving Grounds. During the Cold War, the US government felt like they needed to experiment with biological warfare weapons after they suspected the Soviet Union had them. They chose a remote location in Utah outside of Cedar City to conduct their research. This place is known as the Dugway Proving Grounds. Not only did they test biological weapons here, but chemical and atomic weapons as well. The government conducted a series of 328 open-air germ testings, including agents such as anthrax, the Black Plague, Q fever, tularemia, and possibly much more. Despite the government claiming that the land isn't contaminated, they've closed off 1,421 square miles from the public. In 1986, campers discovered an artillery shell that destroyed their campsite. It's highly likely that this proving ground and some of its surrounding areas are highly toxic. Number 8. Kalimantan, Indonesia. Having a job as a gold miner might seem sort of cool at first, but the truth is, a dangerous slew of harmful toxins are added to the mix. The people mainly eat the fish of the local stream. The marine life contains twice the safe level of mercury. This town releases 1,000 tons of this harmful substance into the environment each year. To get an idea, imagine 192 Humvees made of pure mercury, and that's how much is being released. Mining is ranked the second most polluting industry in the world, ranked right behind used lead battery manufacturing. Number 7. Rio Tinto Spin. While Spain might be a fun tourist attraction for some, this one here you should never consider coming to. Located in Andalusia, Spain, this body of water has been heavily mined for the copper and iron deposits since 3000 BC. A large-scale mining company from the UK took over, and the mine eventually closed in 2001. Scientists are somewhat intrigued by this place after they found a bacteria that doesn't require oxygen to rapidly grow. These feed off the sulfide and iron in the river. It's so toxic that microbiologists are beginning to think that this bacteria could actually survive in outer space on places like Europa and Mars. So coming here will most likely result in metal poisoning, but also you might be infected with an unkillable alien-like bacteria, so watch out. Number 6. The Blue Lagoon. Located in Derbyshire, United Kingdom, this might sound and look like a cool place you might want to swim at. Looks can certainly be deceiving. The inviting bluish-green color actually comes from a slew of toxic chemicals like ammonia left over when this lake was actually a quarry. The quarry flooded and the water mixed with the chemicals, and there you go. It has a pH level of 11.3, which is almost as bad as bleach. So unless you would enjoy taking a bath in bleach, you probably wouldn't want to swim here. Surprisingly, it's a popular place for naive Brits who want to take a swim. Signs around it state that there's often dead animals, garbage, and feces in order to deter people from swimming here. British officials also tried to dye it black in 2013, but people still swim here. It also appears that it's back to its bright blue color again. Number 5. Linfan, China. In some places, there's just something in the air that's not quite right. This is the case for Linfan, China, often referred to as one of the most polluted cities in the world. Linfan primarily relies on coal for energy, and this highly populated country needs a lot of it to stay powered. So they turn to the people who live in Linfan, which is located in the Shanxi province. The city is basically surrounded by coal mines, and much of it is burned to power those mines and the people that live there. It seems to be a never-ending circle of doom. Breathing the air here could be like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes in a day. Some claim that hanging up laundry to dry will only result in it getting turned black from coal ash. Number 4. Vozros Denya Island. This island is located on what was known as the Aral Sea before it disappeared mysteriously. It was here where the Soviet Union constructed a top-secret biological weapons testing facility called Aralosk 7. Explore this place on Google Maps and you'll find some eerie ghost towns and abandoned places. At the main laboratory, crews would test multiple effects of fatal diseases and how to spread them effectively. They often work with horrific agents including anthrax, smallpox, and the Black Plague. In 1971, weaponized smallpox was accidentally released, killing 3 people and infecting 10. Many claim that there are still large stockpiles of anthrax buried here, and the facility closed in 1990. After 9/11, there was an effort made to get rid of it. Anthrax spores can survive underground for decades, so if you come here, bring some hand sanitizer. Number 3. La Oroya, Peru. The town of La Oroya, Peru has been devastated by lead poisoning, and it's estimated that 99% of the children here have elevated lead in their blood. Known for their heavy metal mining and processing operations, many people that live here don't have a choice in where they work. It's gotten to the point where there seems to be no hope in cleaning up the toxic mess. The Peruvian government has insisted that people must stay in their homes as much as possible to keep them from breathing in the sulfur dioxide in the air. Number 2. Dzержinsk, Russia. Another contaminated Russian place. This one is located in the Novgorod Oblast region, 250 miles east of Moscow. Instead of biological weapons, the facility here primarily closed on a chemical weapon. This city was officially closed to foreign travelers due to the toxicity in the city. Almost 300,000 tons of highly hazardous materials, like arsenic, were buried in unsecure storage units between 1930 and 1998. This includes things like mustard gas, sarin gas, hydrogen cyanide, lead, and other chemicals with horrific side effects. Some claim that this lake here is the most polluted and hazardous lake in the world, where much of the toxic dumping took place. It's currently surrounded by this barbed wire fence. In this photo here, you can see the lake has a black tar-like consistency to it. Number 1. Citarum River, Indonesia. This has been labeled as the most polluted river in the world, and you can clearly tell that from this photo. You can barely tell there's even water here. Unfortunately, this is the main source of Jakarta's water. Somehow, it irrigates the farms that provide approximately 5% of the city's rice. Aside from the obvious debris, the river is heavily polluted with numerous chemicals such as lead, cadmium, aluminum, and chromium. It also contains 3 times the average amount of aluminum and 3 times the average amount of iron concentrations. Warning, this pipe is discharging hazardous chemicals. It's a miracle some people can even survive in conditions like this.